Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and merciful. This Divisional Public School and Inter College, Lahore. Today we are gonna start the lecture 4 of Grade 5 Science Series lectures. This lecture is all about Unit 9, that is electricity. Here Sparkle will help us to understand about electricity.
Hey, what's going on here? Why is it so dark here? I think the light has gone. Well, light is not coming, so let's go out and have some fun. But due to COVID, we can't go out. In room, I can play my piano or my guitar, but they also need electricity. Well, now I will listen some music on my mobile or I will play some game on my laptop. But oh, they are not charged. What should I do now? No electricity means no activity. Hey Ellie, yes, we are dependent on electricity all the time. It has made our lives busy and easy. Hey Sparkle, you are here. Yes, you are right. Electricity is super wonderful. Many appliances in our homes and school use electricity, like our AC, TV, mobile, iPad, my piano, my guitar, all are working by electricity. Hi everyone, I'm Ellie and my friend Sparkle will help you to understand what is electricity. Yeah, sure. I will tell you some facts about electricity. Electricity is a form of energy that flows through the conductors. Hey Sparkle, what are conductors? Well, conductors are the materials in which electrons can move freely to their neighboring atoms. But how does electricity flows through the conductors? Electricity flows through a material in the form of current. Please, Sparkle, please tell me what is current? Ellie, current is the flow of electrons through a conductor. Wait, Sparkle, and tell me, what does this current made up of? Ellie, I have told you a few seconds before that electric current is the flow of electrons. Oh yes, you told me. But what are electrons? Electrons are smaller particles of an atom. Oh yeah, I remember. Miss Eric has told us about atoms in lesson 1. Yes, I know. Matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. There are about 118 different kinds of atoms. Atoms are fundamental particles of the matter and are also called elements. Atoms are so tiny that they are visible under special microscopes only. Very good, Ellie. You really know well. But you will be surprised to know that the atoms are made up of even smaller particles, which are called subatomic particles. Atoms make up everything, but what makes up atom? Atoms are made up of even smaller particles called subatomic particles. These are electrons, protons, and neutrons. Electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, but neutrons have no charge. Electrons are present in the outer part of the atom. They are moving in the circular path around the central portion. These circular paths are called orbits or shell. Protons and neutrons are present in the central portion of the atom. This part is called nucleus of the atom. As we know, the oppositely charged particles attract each other, but similarly charged particles repel each other. Here, I have something new to tell you. Electrons are much smaller than protons and they zip around protons at lightning speed, making up something called electron cloud around the atoms. Electrons do this because they have negative electrical charge, which always pull towards the positively charged protons. This pull between the negatively charged electrons and positively charged protons is called weak electrical force. This force always exists there. Whenever a free electron gets close enough to lonely proton, they become part of the same atoms. That's why the opposite charges of electrons and protons keep the electrons moving in the orbit. Hey Sparkle, I have a question. If oppositely charged particles attract each other, then why don't electrons collapse in the nucleus? Ellie, you asked really a very good question. There are two concepts about this. The first old concept says that there is an analogy or similarity between the electrons orbiting the nucleus and the planets moving around the sun. This concept says there are weak electric forces between negatively charged electrons and positively charged protons. These weak electric forces are balanced by equal and opposite weak forces, which keeps the electron moving in their orbit. But this concept is no more stable now. The new concept says that electrons can't be treated as particles because of their very small size. Rather, they act as wave. So if we consider the electrons as wave, then these waves of electrons maintain a specific distance from the nucleus according to their position. That's why they don't collapse in the nucleus. Hey Sparkle, I have another question. If similarly charged particles repel each other, then why don't protons push each other out of the nucleus? Hey Ellie, you are asking very good questions today. The answer of your question is neutrons. Inside the nucleus, neutrons and protons are present. There exists a strong force between neutrons and protons. This force is called strong nuclear force. This strong nuclear force holds the protons together and stops them from flying apart. So neutrons glue the similarly charged protons inside the nucleus and hold the nucleus together. If there were no neutrons, the electric force will cause the positively charged protons to push each other out of the atom. Without neutrons, protons would fly out of the nucleus. Hey Sparkle, this is enough for me to study today. Let's wind up today's lesson. Today I learned we are dependent on electricity all the time. Electricity is a form of energy. Electricity flows through the conductors. Conductors are the materials in which electrons can move freely to their neighboring atoms. Electricity flows through a material in the form of current. Current is the flow of electrons through the conductors. I also learned today that electrons are subatomic particles of an atom. Oppositely charged particles attract each other. Similar charges repel each other. There are weak electric forces between electrons and protons. These forces help the electron to move around the nucleus. There are strong nuclear forces between neutrons and protons. These forces help to keep the nucleus together. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will meet again with a new lecture about types of electricity.